Trey Lance. What do you think the realistic expectations, reasonable expectations are for this young man?
I think that you need to look at the numbers that they put up last year with Jimmy Garoppolo, and just if he can match those numbers from a yardage standpoint, I think that's about what they're going to be. I would hope that they keep him around that number of attempts. The yards per attempt should be right around the same, but I would expect a few more touchdowns and maybe a little bit less on the interceptions. I think he's going to be able to come in. I really feel confident that Lance is going to be able to come in and there won't be a drop off from Jimmy Garoppolo, at least like I expected last year early in the season. Because I would have had a real hard time coming on here and arguing with you and saying that Trey Lance shouldn't have started week 18. Because with what we saw in week 17, I felt like he was ready to go.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in the system. I mean, I thought he should start week 1, but I guess there are virtues to sitting a guy here. And so all those should be on display, right? He knows the system. He has chemistry and rapport with these players. And then this offseason, he'll have theoretically the entire offseason with the first team, no Jimmy Garoppolo breathing down his neck, to actually get acclimated into the new offense that they're going to, not new, but that's tailored to his skill set, which is quite different than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he should be pretty good. I don't necessarily expect 50 touchdowns like Patrick Mahomes in his first season in an MVP, but he could have 35 total touchdowns if you count what he's going to produce on the ground. This Niners offense could be really explosive because I think this year they did the most they could do with Jimmy Garoppolo. Like they recognized all of his weaknesses and pretty much worked around him. They didn't ask him to do too much that he didn't feel uncomfortable with. I think they're going to ask a lot of Trey, a lot more, since he's the future. You know, they want him to learn the offense. With Jimmy, it's like, dude, just do what you're comfortable with so we can pump up your value and trade you. With Trey, it's like, I think they want him to, there's a vision. And I think it's going to be a more explosive offense. I think we saw it in the second half against Houston. My expectation is the most explosive version of the Kyle Shanahan. I think I have high expectations for is it unfair? I think this offense is going to kick ass. I think it's going to be a lot like what it looked like when the Rams went from Goff to Stafford. It's kind of my expectation. Is that too much for the kid?
No, I don't think it's too much either. When you watch them, I would like to see them run the same stuff that they ran with Jimmy Garoppolo, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Because there's plays that are built into everything that they do downfield that Jimmy Garoppolo just wouldn't throw the ball. We saw it in the championship game with 5 or 6 plays, right? And there was others as well. I think if it's Trey Lance, he's going to be a little more likely to take those shots, and we know he has a good deep ball. Let him go out there and do his thing. I think run your offense the way that you do it. The one thing I don't want to see Trey Lance do is become a running back like they've done with him in his first 2 starts. I think they need to pull back on that. That's
desire.
So
unnecessary. Call the game like your dad called it for John Elway, with a couple zone reads sprinkled in, but it doesn't have to be. He doesn't have to be your change of pace running back. That's so unnecessary. It's if you call it at the right time, that could be a first down or a touchdown that wins the game for you, but it doesn't have to be the basis of your offense. In fact, that's a terrible idea, and that's how you get your quarterback hurt in the NFL.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just like with John Elway, they'd run a couple of quarterback draws here and there, whatever. Just if you want to call for a 3 or 4 quarterback runs a game, knock yourself out. But let's not be doing it 12 times a game. Let's not even do it 5 or 6 like they did against Houston, where every time you're in a short yard situation, you're going to the quarterback to pull it out.
Yeah, there's no reason to do that when you have Elijah Mitchell, Deebo Samuel. Like, you want the threat of Trey Lance running to be bigger than him actually running, because I'm not even sure how explosive he is. I think he's going to be a good running quarterback, and I think given all the other threats and the scheme that they have, he could be really, really efficient, but I don't even know if he's explosive as Colin Kaepernick. So don't just ask him to be the best athlete on the field. I'm not sure that he is. Justin Fields is. I saw that in Chicago. He ran circles around the 49ers defense. It was quite impressive. Once they give him some support, he'll be good, I think. Trey Lance, I think, is more of a traditional quarterback, honestly. I do. And I think that the play action thing more than the zone read thing is going to be how he separates himself.
I agree. I feel you're right there. He's more of a pocket quarterback than people realize. And even at North Dakota State, when he was running, he wasn't running around the edges. He was running between the tackles.
That's the point. And when he runs, like when he scrambles, he doesn't necessarily want to break the line of scrimmage.
No, he wants to throw it.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
he's going to be good on the boot. I've talked about him so much, but he's going to be good on the bootlegs. You saw when Kyle Shanahan finally got him way out in the right, boom, touchdown to Debo. Like, it's going to be great. It's going to be real cool. I don't even root for this team, but I root for exciting offensive football, and I think the Niners are going to have it. I guess my issue with Jimmy is that you can appreciate it. You can point to the spreadsheet and say why it's efficient or here, and I just don't find it that much fun to watch the methodical Jimmy Garoppolo drive. It's fun when Debo Samuel breaks 8 tackles in a play. I'll always love watching, or Kittle. But I'm excited to see this. I think maybe the idea won't be as good as maybe the reality won't be as good as the idea, but the idea is so tantalizing to me.
Yeah, no, it's the ideas that you can come up with in your head and the way that you can utilize him. It goes off in a lot of different directions. I know that's what happened to me when I was rewatching his film at North Dakota last year before the draft.
And maybe it's mostly tantalizing for people our age. Like if you didn't live through Mike Shanahan on the Broncos in the late 90s, you might not understand what we're talking about. But if you did know, I mean, remember how Mike used Elway, how Mike used Terrell Davis. I mean, there's a lot of carryover here. Of course, I'm not saying that Trey Lance is Elway, but Elway was like 37 at that point. He wasn't extremely athletic. He could move, but if you want to know what a semi-mobile, strong, what a mobile, strong arm quarterback can do in this type of play action offense. They won 2 Super Bowls. They were really. I mean, how many teams win back-to-back Super Bowls in NFL history?
Not very many of them. I don't know
Not,
the number, but there's not very many.